Joining us right now is Sheriff Larry Deaver, who is serving his fourth term as sheriff of Cochise County, a county, by the way, bigger than Rhode Island and Connecticut combined, and it shares its entire southern border with Mexico. Few people understand the toll that the violence and the lawlessness that illegal immigration and its cousins, human and drug smuggling, take on this nation better than Sheriff Deaver. Sheriff, welcome to the Savage Nation. Thank you for being with us.
Hey, thanks for inviting me in.
Well, what can I say? How do you feel today? I mean, I know how you feel today. I can imagine how you feel today, but you're actually on the front line, Sheriff.
Well, yeah, as far as the judge's ruling, there are some aspects of it that could have been worse, I suppose, but I'm looking at this as a big picture, Michael, frankly, and that is President Obama and Eric Holder did us a big favor when they sued Arizona along with the ACLU, in that they've elevated this conversation and brought attention to it that otherwise wouldn't have happened. And we need to take advantage of that. And the reason I'm fully engaged in this fight and didn't ask to be dismissed, in fact, hired a law firm to carry the fight to the feds as well as the ACLU, is because of that. It gives us an opportunity to talk about what you just said, the travesties, the danger, the peril on the border, and how that affects and impacts the rest of the nation. And for your listeners, because we're not going to get everything in, I'd like to say today, if they would go to www.bordersheriffs.com.
Is that bordersheriffs.com?
That's correct.
And can they make a donation to that legal fund through that?
They can do that. The Legacy Foundation out of Iowa has taken this on as well, and it's a nonprofit. And letters of support, donations, but more than that, even there's stuff in there that better defines exactly how we view the situation and how we view what needs to happen.
Well, look, we know that illegal immigration is a mixed bag. We know that many of those folks come here and they do the hard work that many people will not do. Let's be clear, we all know that. But we're talking about the other side of illegal immigration. That's the side that you see, that you police. We're talking about the human smuggling, the prostitution, the drug dealing, and the drunk driving. I can go down the list. You're the one who has to clean up the mess, not the fine folks in the newspapers who write the newspapers. How in the world can you do your job if you have these rats in the ACLU looking over your shoulder every second?
Well, it's not fun, that's for sure. 17% of the people Border Patrol catch, and half of those that are caught every year come through the southern Arizona border through my county and two neighboring counties. 17% of those caught have serious criminal records already in this country. And that means they've been caught, convicted, deported, and now they've come back to carry on. What we don't know is how many of the people across have serious criminal records in their own countries. There's no way to access that. But what we do know, because it's manifest every day in the activity and the crimes we investigate. My good friend Robert Krentz, a rancher, was murdered recently down here. But we do know there are a lot of bad people associated with this.
Well, Sheriff, what about the report we got nationally that a portion of a national forest was closed off because drug gangs have taken over a piece of a federal national forest? Is that true?
Well, it's not closed, but warning signs posted. And one of those is as far north as 70 miles from the border, a significant drug smuggling corridor from the border clear up through the border counties and into neighboring counties. But if you go to recreate in any of our forest lands down here in Cochise County, you'll meet a sign on the road that says caution. Drug smuggling and human alien smuggling may be encountered here, basically saying it's not safe.
Mm-hmm. Well, where do we go from here, Sheriff? The judge has just said that you can't do your job, meaning let's clear the air. The law said if a man or a woman is stopped committing a crime by an officer of the law, at that point of contact, the officer would have the right to ask them whether they're here illegally. So as of right now, you cannot ask that question. Why is that of such interest to the liberals? Why did they not want you to ask if they're here illegally? How in the world would that hurt them?
Well, there's all big politicized. It's a very serious a very dangerous situation, dangerous not only to the border but the entire nation. And for us to not be able to identify and determine who is coming into this country, give us an indication what their intentions might be, is totally unconscionable. I'm telling you this, the racial profile group has totally distorted what goes on in actuality and practicality. When a police officer, a sheriff's deputy, encounters someone, about the last thing they discover is his or her nationality. There's always triggering events, things that lead up to that. Unless, of course, you're a backpacker with 20 guys walking across one of the ranch lands down the desert. That's a pretty good clue something's going on. But
yeah,
it's the normal police-citizen encounter or non-citizen encounter.
Sheriff, what can you do now? In other words, what part of the law did the judge say is permissible in her majestic opinion?
Well, frankly, in my environment, the landscape I work in, it doesn't make any difference. We're going to continue doing what we've been doing for 34 years I've been in this business. And that is, when we encounter illegal aliens, we discover believe that that's the case, we turn them over to Border Patrol and they deal with them. And
I see. So in essence, nothing's going to change from your point of view.
Well, not for me, but it's different when you get away from the border into the interior of the state where you don't have those Border Patrol resources that you can refer to.
I see what you mean, because you are a border county within the state. You have that resource to turn them over to, while those, let's say, inland and Phoenix don't have such an opportunity.
Well, they have ICE is responsible for detention, deportation in the interior of the country, and they don't have the number of agents that Border Patrol. I have 1,300 Border Patrol agents in my county, and they're still coming across the border in droves. So, but when my deputies do encounter them, I only have 86 deputies to cover 6,300 square miles, 24/7. But when we encounter illegals, and if Border Patrol can't come get them, we load them in jail vans and take them to them.
Sheriff Larry Deaver, how can the people help again? Give us that website where they can go and learn more about the situation and make a donation. What is it again?
www.bordersheriffs.com.
Sheriff Deaver, keep up the fight. We need you. Thank you for being with us on the Savage Nation. It is 41 minutes after the hour. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. I want to go back to you, the American people, whether you're in Arizona, New York, Chicago, Florida, Santa Maria. It doesn't matter to me. How do you feel today knowing that one judge has overridden the votes of millions of people in the state of Arizona as a result of a lawsuit by the foreign organization, the ACLU, an organization that I believe in my heart could be broken up under RICO statutes if we had a legitimate government interested in defending the American people?